Hello, and welcome to our latest video blog, going beyond the Magic Quadrant hot news for the CDP landscape. I'm joined by Matt, and we're going to be talking all about the CDP landscape as a whole. So, Matt, there's been a lot of coverage for the CDP category this year. Can you talk about the reports that have come out thus far and why this year has seen such an increase in coverage for the category specifically?
I've worked at Telium for about 7 years now and headed up our analyst relations program. It's been interesting to see all the coverage of the CDP landscape this year. So IDC, has a bunch of marketscapes where they cover different types of CDPs and different verticals. Forrester has a B2C CDP wave on their calendar for this year for the first time, and they've been doing the B2B CDP wave for a few years now. And of course, this year, the big news was Gartner finally joined with Magic Quadrant for customer data platforms in 2024. And ultimately, I think, the reason why we've seen this kind of culmination of reports and coverage of the landscape is that the category has reached kind of another level of maturity. And ultimately, it helps see people who are looking at CDPs pick the right one. And ultimately, if people are buying CDPs and having good experiences, that means the category grows and gets bigger and bigger, and ultimately we get to do even cooler stuff in future years.
And I know that Telium was named as a leader in the 2024 Gartner Magic Quadrant. So can you tell me a little bit more about what that is? What does that mean? And why do you think that Telium was named as a leader?
Yeah, fun. I definitely recommend reading the report. We got it available on our website for complimentary download, no cost. But ultimately, my opinion on why we were positioned well to be named a leader in the Magic Quadrant are a number of kind of things that go back to what our vision is and our philosophy for how we manage customer data. And number one, I go to our neutrality. So we put a lot of effort into the fact, we kind of think about ourselves as the Switzerland of data. We work with everybody. We think the ecosystem really needs a neutral player who's not part of a larger, collection of tools, because ultimately that means we can focus on just managing the data for maximum flexibility. And at a certain point in time, we called our product suite the Universal Data Hub. So you can see our ambition for having mastery across a large number of different types of data. And I think we're seeing that play out more and more in the market today. Secondly, I'd point to kind of our expertise in regulated industries. Whenever you're working in a regulated industry, there's kind of a higher standard for control over the data. So, we bring that expertise to bear for industries where there's not those regulations. But ultimately, our customers gain the advantage of our expertise around having control so that you can do really differentiated things using your unique data, because that's going to separate you from the competition is, how much you understand your customer. And then the last reason I would say is our enterprise readiness. We put a lot of effort into making our system extremely scalable and reliable. Ultimately, all of those skills that we learned from being neutral in the market and being in regulated industries, our CS team is a really valuable resource for our customers to get down in the foxhole and solve these customer data challenges, which are always unique to every unique data landscape out there. And we have a partner network that ultimately both tech partners, services partners, systems integrators that surround the technology so that we're giving our customers a whole solution, which I think is ultimately something that played into what our ratings were.
CDPs are very much in the conversation when it comes to the data landscape, especially the topics that are being discussed right now, from AI to data collection and activation, data compliance, data privacy, and more. So what's happening with the CDPs? Are they kind of being touted as a holistic solution to address all of these problems that folks are facing in businesses today?
Well, it certainly can't solve every problem, but it can be a part of solving a lot of problems, and it's been an interesting ride. CDP category was called a passing fad by very major organizations out there, and that's really flipped. And it's been amazing to me, coming in 7 years ago, how the vision for what we've been delivering hasn't really changed at all. You go back to one of the first things I did when I got to Telium was I interviewed our CEO, Jeff Lunsford, and he had these 5 mandates for digital transformation. And ultimately, those 5 mandates were putting the customer at the center, not only operationally, like you hear about from Amazon, putting a chair for the customer at board meetings, but also technologically, like your view of the customer should be literally baked in to the center of all of your operations. So that was the first mandate. The second was real-time data as a requirement. I think we're seeing that one amp up these days, this year specifically. The third one was privacy. Do this all in a privacy-centric way. You're seeing that come true and become more important. Remember, this mandate was before GDPR came out, which was the big one back in 2018 that really kind of supercharged global regulations, I'd say, starting in Europe. The fourth one was AI and ML ready. So manage your data in a way that you're going to be able to take advantage of, automating the insights from that data, which I think we can all agree is becoming a very important thing in the market today. And lastly, that data should flow freely through the enterprise. So, I think, many analyses out there around CDPs, going beyond marketing, because a lot of people viewed CDPs as marketing systems in the beginning. We were a little different. We had the universal vision, but we're seeing that play out with more data sources across like call centers and sales systems. I think in the next couple of years, we're going to see a lot of progress and a lot of changes, and it's going to continue being pretty exciting.
Thank you, Matt, for your take on what's hot with the CDP landscape and the 2024 Magic Quadrant. You can go download your own complimentary copy, courtesy of Telium, for the 2024 Gartner Magic Quadrant. See you in our next video blog.